Hey, I'm Captain Bob Cook. Today we are going to learn how to rig a harpoon. And when you put it in the fish, in this case a bluefin tuna, you want it to release out. You want this harpoon tip, the point, to go in the tuna as far as around right here. Sometimes they go right through. You don't want that. It's going to ruin the meat. So they go in, they turn, and then the concept is they stay in the tuna like that. That's why you got all that play like that. So the first thing I do is I make about an 8-inch loop through the harpoon tip, the point, through that part of it. I make a bowline right there, and then I tape it. I just kind of tape all my terminal ends. Tighten it. I usually tighten it just like this. Put that on the metal on the floor, and you just tighten it. And you just make sure your bowline, which in my opinion is the very best knot on any boat. I use it in so many situations, and especially this one. So then this carabiner, I'm going to show you in a minute, goes on the harpoon shaft. That's how you save the harpoon. So you put the harpoon in the fish. This carabiner is up on the shaft, down towards here, where this is going to lay. You're going to put play on the shaft right here. You're going to tape it around it so that when you put the harpoon in the fish, you pull back on the harpoon by way of this, which is on a clamp up on there. But again, I'm going to show you all that. That's just to sort of explain what I'm doing here. This carabiner goes up there. Harpoon gets thrown at the fish. Dart goes in, turns, you pull everything out. This shaft right here is hanging just by the carabiner. This is in the fish. So it's in the water column below the fish, this shaft. You save the shaft and you hopefully get the fish. But this one here is all prepped, so it's not going to work out as far as length. So I'm going to take this carabiner out, and then I'm going to establish what the length is going to be on that pole. And one critical thing I'm missing right now out here is electrical tape. And I'm going to explain to you what I do with the electrical tape and where I should be using it. First thing you want to do with this dart, Vaseline, petroleum jelly right in here. There actually is already some in there. Just a little daub, finger in, put it there, so it always releases from this. Always, always, always. Always want it to come out. A lot of times you can get salt in there, a little bit of corrosion. It'll almost weld itself right to this. So always watch out for that. Now on this shaft, I always like to line it up with this right here. So I make sure that that dart is lined up with this right here. This is where the carabiner that I was talking about goes, right here. So I'm going to take this length of line. Remember that first thing I was talking about when I said play in the line. I'm going to do that right here. So I usually do 3 loops. So you got 3 on the shaft, just like that. And these 3 loops are taped. 1 wrap, 2 wraps, just with electrical tape, really tight. Oh, sweet, right here. Sweet. Hardest part of it, getting this roll started. There's always a bad part on the top of an old roll, so I take the first layer off. Again, lay this on the shaft. I line it up with where the carabiner is going to go. 1, 2, 3 strands like that. Here's you go 1, 2. Tear it. Lay it there. Same thing here. It always helps to have a table to work on too, so keep that in mind. Nice work table in the middle of the deck is great. All right, again, 1, 2. Tear the tape. Make sure that's nice and straight because I got OCD. And you're gonna bring this, all of this is going into a basket with a poly ball right there. So the poly ball is at the end of that, it's on that bitter end of that line. This goes all the way to here. You grab this, double it up. You're gonna size it up with where the clip is gonna go. And you're just gonna do a simple overhand, just like this. That's your simple overhand. And all this is to do is to, obviously you want this side to stay in the fish, but you want this to save your shaft. These are expensive, about 250 bucks. So you don't wanna lose that. So this carabiner you put on the loop and you put this right on this right here. And you pull the whole thing up because you want it to be, when you're firing at the fish, you want everything to be straight. You want it all to be organized going into the water. I take this on this end. I'll do another overhand right here. I usually just do one on that. It's not as important as those down there. And then I go down and I straighten everything out so that when that fish is there at that critical time and he's circling, you don't want to be thinking about anything other than hitting that fish. So if you're not organized here and you're thinking about it, you're going to miss that fish. So I go through, I make sure everything is perfect and tight. So, and if that's not tight, you can just take this right here and pull. And that'll be tight. So when this point goes into the fish, when you throw the harpoon, you're gonna pull this right here, throw the harpoon, grab this line, this whole entire thing will be in the fish, this will release. This is why we do this right here, watch this. So this all comes out. And then this will naturally rip off. Because what I do is I cut a little tab right here and right here. So it's going to rip off this way, and the only thing that's going to be there is this is going to be underneath that fish. And then we just, hopefully we put a gaff in his tail, put a line around his tail as well. We call it a tail rope, and fish is ours. So that is making a harpoon.